What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Mo, and today in this video I'll be going through our transfer talks and tips for game week 4. The game between United and Liverpool has just finished, and I'll tell you now, I am the most happiest United fan you could find. Salah got me a return, Trent blanked, not too concerned, but United, Man United, I've been wearing the shirt since that Brentford game. In terms of videos, they have indeed won tonight. So a great evening for me. My points have gone up by 14 points this evening. My rank on screen, as you can see, is around 2.8 mil on screen, but it's gone to around exactly 2 mil, according to the live FPL site. But today we're going to talk about what transfers we're looking at, what players we're looking to target, to buy, keep, sell and avoid, and potentially scout as well over the next week or so. But if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed to FPL INKLING, this is a great chance for you guys to hit that subscribe button and join the FPL INKLING family. So let's not waste any further time and get stuck in and which players you guys should be looking to target first to buy this week. Of course, it's Perisic. So Perisic this week has got 12 points with a clean sheet, bonus points and an assist for Harry Kane as well. What does that tell us about him in terms of how he's looking in terms of being nailed or being first choice? That's always going to be a concern with someone like Perisic, who's got Sessegnon and other wing-backs at Spurs who literally can be rotated, and there are midweek games and double game weeks coming up now as well. Well, I wouldn't say double game weeks in the sense of like a double game week for FPL, but like they're playing 3 games in like 7 days. So there's a lot of turnover in terms of game time, so there could be a risk of rotation. But if you guys have a strong 15 and there are players to come in terms of cover, if he is rested, then this makes it a really good kind of easy sell in terms of like, buying him into your squad, or actually still keeping him if you actually had him from day one. But if you have sold him and you're looking to get back in, I reckon now is a good time. Let's look at some of the fixtures. So Nottingham Forest away, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Man City away, Leicester at home and Arsenal away. So a bit of a mixture of fixtures, but again, what we look for from Perisic is more of not only just the kind of solidity in terms of defensive role, but also in terms of attack. What does he bring to our squads? And, we've seen it already. He's on like corners, set pieces in terms of free kicks, and he doesn't mind whipping in a ball. And he got a flick-on header for Harry Kane to get that goal against Wolves as well. So for me, Perisic is someone who has been identified pre-season by managers like myself as well. We were keen to have him, but due to fitness or kind of like being up to mark, he didn't start the first 3 game weeks. He's now come back in. Yes, he's replacing Sessegnon, who also is in good form. But from what I've seen this week, this guy is someone that if I were to make a transfer, he'll probably be on one of the top, couple of players that I'm looking at for this game week to really target and bring into my squad. Now, number 2 is it's one of my favourites from a couple of seasons. And obviously it has to be Wilfried Zaha. Now, Zaha has been in like kind of insane form in the first 3 games. He looks hungry, he looks determined to prove a point. They've got Man City next game. So Crystal Palace have done well against Man City in previous seasons, even when they've done well and they've gone on to win the Premier League title. But Zaha is always part of that, the attack, and we're not looking for any kind of defensive returns. He can definitely pressurise, just like Callum Wilson did, just like Trippier did in the Newcastle game. He definitely can send shivers through the Man City back line. They're not invincible. They definitely can be scored by, and if it's Zaha, he's on penalties as well. A really good buy, and he's kind of being transferred in by many managers right now, because I think managers now are starting to believe that moving away from the template pick and playing players like Zaha or like Perisic might be the way to go forward. But I think, in terms of fixtures, even after the Man City game, they've got Brentford, Newcastle, Manchester United, Brighton and Chelsea. So some really good fixtures looking up for Zaha as well. I think definitely he should be in like, your mind frame to buy, to bring into your squad, because you'll add a bit of value in terms of form and kind of like, not use too much of your budget either. So he could be a good alternative to, like, if you're looking to go for 2 8 million midfielders, why not go for Zaha as an alternative, which is slightly cheaper as well. Now, if we go on to the players that I think we should consider selling, or if you haven't sold already, first one has to be Coutinho. An absolute disappointing start so far to the season, and the fixtures for Aston Villa do not get much easier. West Ham, bottom of the table at the moment. They're playing them at home at Villa Park. Maybe they could get a result there. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it might be the battle of the worst, which is here. Going to be waiting to see how they do. Then they've got Arsenal away, who are top of the league as it stands. Man City at home. Leicester away. It comes up as red, but I think it's because it's the like East/West Midlands derby. So it could be like those kind of games which have a bit of pressure, added value to the players. And then Southampton at home and Leeds away. So ideally for me, he hasn't really hit the ground running. I've watched all the games that Aston Villa have played, and he just hasn't looked. There's sometimes where there's a player who doesn't like bring the FPL returns, but you think, you know what, they're not too far away from getting us a return. But I just think at the moment, it's just there's far much better players out there, and he's losing value. So it's better to get rid of him now to lose any further value and bring him into your squad. So for me, the first player I would say to sell would be Coutinho if you own him into your squad. Now, I didn't think I'd be doing this in like game week 4 preparations, but Saka for me at the moment, based on the players in his price range that are available and the risk of losing any further price kind of decrease, it would be Saka, because a lot of managers are now moving away to alternative players. So, for example, Luis Diaz, Kulusevski, Maddison, even like cheaper options like, Bernardo Silva. You've got Zaha, these kind of players, that there are alternative options for you to go for. Even Martinelli, for example, if they didn't start with him, they're looking to move away from Saka to Martinelli. But, I would say potentially right now, based on his form, I would say sell. But, there are good fixtures coming up for Saka, and he even might be on penalties. But I think that in Arsenal, if you're looking to really hit players with form at the moment, I'm talking about form at present, not what they've done previously. So this is why Saka's come in the sell department for me, because I think, you could get value from Jesus, Martinelli, and any defender or goalkeeper as a triple up for Arsenal. So I think maybe at the moment, Saka this game week might not be the best target for us to target, but maybe later on in the season when he catches a bit of form, he could come back into our team. But as of now, I would say, despite playing Fulham and Villa at home next, if you want to persist with him, entirely your choice if you want to stay with a triple Arsenal attack. But I just personally believe that, based on what I've seen so far, Jesus, Martinelli, and any defensive / goalkeeper from Arsenal will be the best triple up that you can get as of now, despite this fixtures coming up. But if you do want to stick and commit to Saka, completely understandable if you've backed him. We know how good he is. We know how good his returns can be. It's just about being patient with him. But for me, if I was owning him right now, I just think there's better options out there for me to make the most of in terms of, the price and form, because I don't want to see any more loss in my team value because of Saka losing value due to transfers and, not being managed by enough players. So that's the second player that I would say potentially, if you do own, I would look to sell and move on this game week. And then moving on to the keep category. So Kevin De Bruyne is number 1. So I know there are many premiums at the moment that are going around that are looking at potentially, obviously Haaland, Salah, Son, Kevin De Bruyne. But for me at the moment, this guy is just hitting absolutely insane form. And there is a knee jerk at the moment that people are looking to move to Kane, who's got 2 and 2 despite not playing well. Salah keeps scoring despite not playing well some games. And then you've got, Son, who's not firing at 12 mil. And then you've got Kevin De Bruyne, who's actually, absolutely returning left, right, centre. So I think one of the good things in terms of keeping De Bruyne and not moving away from De Bruyne, because there could be a tendency that you're looking to bring in, Kane, for example, or looking to get Haaland and save £500,000. The issue keeping Kevin De Bruyne would be the issue of getting rid of him now would be the fact that the minutes for him are more nailed than Haaland. That's the only concern that I have, especially with the back-to-back games coming up in the next 7 days, potentially 3 games for each side. They've got Palace at home, Forest at home, and Aston Villa away, Tottenham, Wolves, and Manchester United. I think that there could be a risk of maybe a bit of rest for Haaland, but in terms of Kevin De Bruyne, I think he'll probably get more minutes than Haaland over the season. So maybe it might be a good shout, keeping him for now. So that's what I'm thinking, that if you have Kevin De Bruyne now and you're looking to wildcard and move away from certain kind of structure of the team, this guy, in terms of his being in form and the returns he's getting, are absolutely insane. So for me, I'd keep De Bruyne, even if you're looking to kind of rip up your squad and make a wild card. This guy is in form, and I think he'll continue to bring us some returns, looking at his fixtures and the minutes he will play in a Man City side, which is known to score loads of goals. And also in terms of keep as well, I would always say, look, I know Manchester United have had a good game today. We've had Rashford hit some form, so he's around 6.4, 6.3 mil, similar to Martinelli, but I'm still surprised only about 40% of managers own Martinelli at the time of recording this video. I just don't know how there are managers at that price that he's worth have not owned him or brought him into their squad. Fixtures-wise, Fulham, Aston Villa at home in the next 2 games, and Manchester United away, which I think will be a cracking game. Everton at home, Brentford away, and Tottenham at home. So there's some really good games. I think he can continue to get some real good returns. So if you do have him in your squad, keep him. Do not knee-jerk and move across to other players like Rashford or Zaha, who are doing well. Keep faith in Martinelli. I think there's more to come from him, and he's in a squad which is top of the league, and they're hungry for success and goals, and he's got the backing of the manager as well. I don't think there's any risk of minutes as of yet, because I think they're just playing so well and they're getting the rest that they need to. But this guy, I think, in terms of avoiding any like kind of knee jerks, do not, I would say, potentially keep this player. Do not get rid of him for like any other player along the lines of, like Rashford or Zaha in your squad. Now, the next part we're going to do is going to be avoid for this week. So this isn't avoiding for the whole season, guys, before everyone kicks off at me. I know Rashford had a good game today against Liverpool, but it's the first good game in a very, very long time. And I watch Manchester United week in, week out. Now, he's done well. I don't think we need to knee-jerk and get him in and take hits and play wild cards to get him in. Just keep a lookout for him. They've got Southampton away next week. Yes, they're poor, but so are Leicester. So 2 games I think that where Man United can actually go well, but I would personally say avoid Rashford or any Manchester United player for just a few more game weeks. Because I think even after the Arsenal game, they've got Crystal Palace and Leeds, where I think maybe that's when we can start looking at potential options from Manchester United in terms of Sancho, even De Gea in goal if he picks up his game in terms of clean sheets. Martial's back now for 7 mil up front. Will he be a good option, alternative to Tony if you're looking to go away or move away from the whole kind of like Tony slash any other like third option striker? So there's a lot of players that we can look at to bring into our squads. However, for now, I'm just going to say for this game week alone, I know they've got Southampton coming up. I would personally avoid bringing in Rashford because they do have an abundance of players. There could be more rotation this weekend from Ten Hag. We will just have to wait and see. I think he will most likely play, but I would say just for one more week or a couple of weeks, just let's see Rashford a bit more because he has been disappointing for a very, very long time. And I don't think we should all rush out to bring him in just after one good performance against Liverpool. And then last but not least is Mason Mount. So far this season, there were some, FPL experts who were saying that, Mount has some decent fixtures to start off with, could get a good brace, might be good to go for him. And I think that's a really good shout, to be fair. But looking at it now, in a poor Chelsea side, I think in terms of going forward, in terms of finishing, they're not looking that, cohesive. So maybe Aubameyang coming in might make a difference to them, having a good striker. But at the moment, Sterling / Mount / Havertz just haven't hit the ground running. Yes, they have some really good fixtures: Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Fulham, Liverpool and Crystal Palace. But I just still don't see any firepower from them. So for me, at the moment, in the price range of around 8 mil to about 7.5 mil, even about 8.5 mil, I would say avoid Mount despite those fixtures. I think there are better alternatives like Maddison. Diaz from Liverpool looks in good form. I know he blanked against Manchester United, but he's getting in good positions. There's Kulusevski as well, and James Maddison from Leicester as well. So there are other players in that price range that I would consider more likely or more suitable to be adding more value to your squad due to form and good fixtures as well. Whereas Mount, you never know, he could turn up on the weekend against Leicester. They have been poor defensively. But as of now, as I stand, I personally would say avoid Mason Mount for now because I believe there are better options for his price range to bring into your squad. So those are the players, guys, that I'm looking at this week in terms of buying, selling, keeping, avoiding, and even scouting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, on screen, I've got my points for this game week. The overall points tally I got was 43, way below what I wanted to get this game week. So I'm around the 2 million mark in terms of rank. Not a problem. It's been a disappointing week, but I think next week we'll come back a lot better, a lot stronger, and with a better return. So I can show you guys the squad that I have lined up for next week in itself, and that is indeed here. So we have that here for the next game week, which, as you can see, I'm playing the 5-3-2 formation. Edison, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, James, Gabriel, Cucurella is my defence. Salah will be captain, Kulusevski, Martinelli, and then Haaland and Jesus up front. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. So far, no transfers hit, but those are the players that I'm looking at in terms of bringing in, selling, avoiding, or even scouting in the next couple of weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck for this week. Make your transfers early to avoid any price rises or decreases. And do you know what? If you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to FPL INKLING. The family is growing week in, week out, guys. And thank you so much for watching my content regularly. And I really appreciate your kind words and support. I want you guys to have a good week. Make those transfers. And let's get ready for Game Week 4, guys. Till then, take care.